All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got another episode of You Asked, and I am going to answer. Today, it's all about the settings. It's all about exposure and settings on the camera and white balance and what codec are we shooting and all of these things that really move the needle. But before we get to the question, let's talk about Patreon, the thing that makes all of this possible. It's the only reason I can do videos. Patreon, if you are a cinematographer or if you like the content that is produced by this channel specifically and all of the ideas that will hopefully make you a better cinematographer, the best place to get access to the entire back catalog, thousands of hours of videos, podcasts, breakdowns, all sorts of stuff. It is on Patreon. It's been going now for many, many years. And when you sign up, you get instant access to the entire back catalog. In fact, I've had people sign up and watch every single video from the start. It's a long, long time to do that entire process. But guess what? At the end, if you come away with one or two ideas that make it slightly easier and you get jobs because of it, hopefully it will have all been worth it. Okay, so I appreciate the support. It's the only way I can do these videos. Many thanks. The link is in the description below. Okay, let's talk about today's question. It comes from Jem Carto. And this is, what were the camera choices on this specific commercial that this comment was on, IE or EI and white balance, exposure index and white balance? Do you shoot a stop over to pull down? If so, do you use a custom +1 look in camera? And really, this is not pointed just at this comment. This is globally. This happens on almost every breakdown video I do. People will ask about this stuff. And there was a point where I also asked about this stuff because I, like you, thought that this mattered. Do you know how much this matters? Zero. You know how much the camera actually matters? Once you hit a certain level, there is a time where the camera matters, right? Where you're working your way through, I have no idea what I'm doing, to I can actually get paid to come on the job and like help the production get what they actually want. Eventually you hit this ceiling though. The ceiling is just get an Arri or just get the Sony, the Venice or the Arri or whatever the top of the line thing is. They're all the same. Right? Maybe it mattered in the past, doesn't matter at all nowadays. You can easily screw up all of these little knobs and settings and dials and things. None of it actually matters. And you're like, well, what about the +1 LUT or the pull down secret thing? It's like when you shoot it, and I'm only talking about commercials, right? Again, I'm not making music videos with my friends or short films or feature films where, I don't know, I'm involved every single step of the way. I am a cog in a giant machine. And that is the vast majority of cinematographers as well. You can kid yourself. This is how you get paid. If you want to make a living at this, you have to develop a skill of saying, hey, I'm part of this team for a little tiny split second in time. This is how you make the thing better. Take it or leave it. Are you going to take it? I hope so. If not, oh, the project just disappears and I never have to think about it again because it was one day out of my life and still got paid to show up and it's fun. So does any of this actually matter? Does the camera actually matter? Not for me. I get to a certain level. It's like, I've shot every project for the last 10 years on some version of an Alexa, whether it's the XT at the beginning, which was a complete and utter nightmare to work with, just a power hog and giant. But at the time, it was like, oh my God, you could get these crazy images and you can completely screw it up and exposure index doesn't matter and white balance doesn't matter and you can grade the thing left, right, and center. And eventually someone will. Why? Because what happens on set? When you're in a commercial or when you're on a commercial, what happens on set? You're like, oh, there is a difference between 800 ISO and 400 ISO. There is a difference, right? I know that. Maybe you know that. Maybe I've actually done the test to see, but there is a difference. You got to be a super dork to notice the difference, okay? Super, super dork. And really, like you have to be seeing the image that is pulled off of the mag, uncompressed, like looking real close. But in reality, what happens is you get done with the job and the dailies like gets smacked on there. And then the editor sees it and the director sees it. And all along the way, everybody changes everything to exactly what they want all of the time. And then, especially in the commercial space, like the output is not your taste. The output is the taste of the client or the creative who's on the job from the ad agency. Like they get the final say. And you're like, what about the director's cut? Okay, well then the director gets the final say. What if the director really likes you and tells you to bring you onto the grade? Great. Guess what they call that? You have a new best friend. If the director cares that much to bring you onto the grade, like cherish that person, right? I probably don't have to tell you that. That is not common, especially for directors that are working all the time. It's busy. They've got lots of things to do. They are working 99% of the time. They're working on crapola. Even the greatest ones, they're working on crap that they want to get rid of as fast as possible so they can do their one thing that they actually care about. That one job a year that is, I don't know, shot in Eastern Europe. And I know it's for some weird, obscure car company that they can make it actually look cool. And that one director's cut will get them jobs for years. Okay, but the other time they're doing laundry detergent and toothpaste and they're trying to get through it just like you are. Okay, everyone's playing the same game. So they're going to change it all the time. So with modern cameras, exposure doesn't matter, white balance doesn't matter. Like, okay, can you screw it up? I don't know. That'd be a fun experiment to see. Like, could you possibly screw it up? Because instantly they will correct it. And to tell you the level of care in the commercials, I mean, I have multiple times on set, I have had post-production people come up to me and say, like, do we have to shoot 444? Can we not shoot something smaller on the Alexa, right? So ProRes 444, XQ. No, we don't want to do that one. The files are too big. 444. Can we not do that? Can we do 422? It's like, what are we doing? You got everybody here and we're going to save $100 on hard drives? What are we doing? And then you realize, like, okay, you can sort of control that person now when you're on set, but they're going to take the project and they're going to be responsible for it for the next 3 weeks until the thing goes on air. And that representation will be your work. That'll be a reflection of your work, their taste. And you're like, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble that this is happening to me. So you realize that and you go, okay, none of the little dials actually matter. You think they do. I thought they did. Right? The very first episode of the Wandering DP podcast that I did was with a cinematographer, Max Goldman, amazing cinematographer. Just gets so much quality stuff over such a long career. I spent almost the entire podcast asking him about settings and knobs, and it doesn't make a difference. I wish someone would have told me, like, what are you doing? You're talking to this amazing cinematographer and you're asking about whether they shot at 800 or 1280 ISO. Like, what? Thinking that made a difference? I guess everyone has to go through the stage. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, especially on the good cameras. And you're like, well, Patrick, I'm not on the good cameras. Find a way to get there. Find a way. If the camera is your limitation now, which it's not, I guarantee it's not. But if it is, you want to get to the point where you can eliminate all your excuses as fast as possible so that then you'll realize, guess what? All of my excuses weren't true. I'm just dog shit at cinematography, which you'll have to get there. If you're not there yet, run there as fast as you can. Like, break through all the excuses to finally realize, because it'll be a big weight off your shoulders. You'll be like, oh, good. I finally understand now. There are people out there that are just better at creating images than me. So I just have to get better at creating images. I don't have to worry about the camera or the settings or the white balance or any of that shit because it doesn't actually matter. There's one thing that actually matters, and that's making nice stuff. And making nice stuff has nothing to do with any of these things. So while this will take up a large amount of mind and brain space, you want to eliminate that as fast as possible. I've talked about this in videos in the past. It's very easy to see why this is the case. Right? It's very similar to money and measuring money in a normal life. Why do so many people do it? Because it's very easy. It's like less money, bad. More money, good. It's a number. You can track it. You can see it. You can see how it moves up and down. It's like, okay, easily measurable. Easily measurable means we will start fitting things to those easy measurements because then we can track progress. It's like, what white balance did you use? What ISO? That'll make the big difference. Right? Not the location that you chose, the time of day or the talent or the angle or the lens or the 90,000 other choices that you have to make. No, it's this one little specific thing. It's like less money, good or bad, more money, good. It's like, okay, maybe or probably not, but it's easy to measure. So we do it. Okay. So none of that stuff actually matters. In fact, there was a comment below this one talking about, well, I'm sure Patrick is shooting Airy Raw. So the white balance doesn't matter. Airy Raw in a commercial, well, I'm not doing that kind of stuff. People are, they're fighting for the smallest file size possible. You're constantly up against this huge push of disorder and chaos and entropy. Your job is to like, I just want to physically constrain this environment just long enough so that we can get something that is halfway decent. And I've only got so many levers to pull and knobs to twist. It's like, I just want to make it nice. So does it matter? No. That being said, probably I shoot at 400, 800, 1280, 1600, somewhere in there. I don't care what it looks like. I change it all the time from shot to shot, from scene to scene. I'm fiddling with every single knob, every single button. White balance doesn't matter. I do all those things all of the time. You know, you have like the second AC coming up to you and like asking, have you changed anything on the camera? And they'll look at the settings and they'll be like, then they'll go tell the first AC like, have we changed the ISO? And the first AC is like, no. Come up to the camera like, oh, it's gone from 400 to 1600 and it's the same shot that we just did before. And be like, nobody cares. Like, okay, just write it down. Who's looking at those notes? I mean, I'm sure someone is looking at those notes. Don't stop doing that. If your job requires that, definitely do that. But for me, I'm like, I'm creating problems. Let me create the problems. I'm trying to screw it all up to make it look halfway decent. And if I pass on like that +1 LUT that you asked about, if I pass on like a super special LUT or something, nobody ever uses it. The only thing that I do after a job is I take a look at a few key stills and I grade them up exactly how I would want. So I can go like this. Wipe my hands. I've done it. This I see. I promised I could get you this. And this is what I got you in the world. This is what I would do. But do I ever have expectations that the project is actually going to end up like that? No. Why? Because the director sees those and goes, oh, those are nice, but I'm going to do what I want. And then pass that off to the client and agency. And the colorist sees the director's references and goes like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what I want. And then I'm just going to pass it off. Good luck. And then the client sees it or the agency sees it and they change it and they say the same thing. So I wouldn't get too caught up in it. You should be spending more time trying to figure out how to take a nice picture. Rather, like, actually, you know what you should do? This is a good exercise. Use the worst settings that you could possibly imagine and see if you can make a nice image. And I guarantee you it's the exact same thing. Exact same. In fact, I might do that on the next commercial. The next commercial that I shoot, I mean, like, what's the weirdest? Like, if we shoot ISO 100 and we do something crazy, like we shoot the white balance at like 2900 outside. Like, does anybody care? Does anybody notice? Or does it just get graded up normal in the end? Because the flexibility is so great now. I guarantee it won't make a difference. So do yourselves a favor. In this limited window where you do have time to sort of learn and allocate energy to what moves the actual needle, your taste and your ability to deliver and sell that taste at all times to the crew, to the director, to the producer, your skill in being able to identify how long things are going to take, where they should be taking place, offering up ideas, steering from the back, right? Like the guy in the back of the huge fire engine, right? You're not at the front. That's the director. You're at the back like, oh, can we save this thing? You know, like doing the Kramer. Like, can we save this? Hopefully we can. Like, turn left up here. We're coming up to this scene. If you do it this way, it's going to turn out like dog shit. And then they don't listen to you and you're like, I told you. If you're not nice. If you're nice, you'd be like, man, that scene was so tricky. If only we had thought of a different way to do it. Next time. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. Many thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.